Exactly. But what I do admire about Sony is how they've been listening to people on on the feedback of their cameras. I remember there were a lot of complaints about the A7S II, and all of those complaints were fixed in the A7S III. So I do like that they were listening to their audience, and especially taking that feedback. I remember hearing about Sony doing a camera camp. This was before COVID, and people who went to that camera camp said Sony specifically asked us, give us all of your feedback on the cameras, what you don't like, what you like. And that was what they pretty much, in addition to like every other YouTuber making videos about what they didn't like about those previous cameras.
Right.
But they took their feedback into consideration, and now we got the A7S III, which a lot of people are jumping ship from other brands to go with the A7S III because it checks all of those boxes that we're looking for in a video specific camera.
Right. And I've heard that about Sony, that when you say something negative, they don't get defensive about it, but they actually take note of it. So, I mean, that speaks wonders right there. But yeah, we'll see. Now, all
Yeah.
these cameras, none of them are out yet. And that always changes once you have them in your hand and you have the production one and you're working with it. Then you tend to be like, oh, well, this actually works. Or this really sucks and doesn't work.
Right.
So I can't wait to get one of those in my hands. Talking to any manufacturers out there.
Yes. Considering everything is on back order.
I know. But another thing, too, you have Panasonic, you have Canon. When you leave one manufacturer for the other, it's not just the camera body. You got to start thinking of lenses. And we've been in this game for a while. So you start accumulating a bunch of different lenses that are specific to that camera manufacturer. And now you're going to get a new camera, and maybe those lenses don't work. And now you have to invest in all new glass again. And that's my hesitation. That's why I don't want to just leave, because I know I'm going to have to just spend all that money and get more glass. And
Exactly. That's something, yeah, everyone has to consider when making that choice. I mean, if you already have the lenses for that brand, or if you have, like, let's say like a Metabones adapter that you could just easily convert them to, but still, to me, it's always better when you use
the native lenses.
the native lenses.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just, it always looks better. I mean,
I
that's
agree.
what it's made for.
I agree. I agree with that. There's no arguments here. So
Yeah.
um I have Canon glass, Panasonic glass. I think the bottom line is, when you decide to get a camera and all lenses, I think you have to first look at what is it that you're doing with it. What is your business, or what is it that you're using these cameras for? If you're YouTubing and you're filming yourself, definitely autofocus is a plus. So if you're
Right.
starting out, you may want to consider that, the priority on the list. And then if you're going to be behind the camera, like I'm mostly behind the camera. This is now the first time that I'm in front of the camera. So autofocus meant nothing to me because I was always pulling focus. So it really didn't matter.
Right.
So I think you have to consider that. And then somebody always says the best camera to use is the one that you have. So there you have
Exactly.
it.
I mean, all the bells and whistles do help, especially if you're filming by yourself. So, like you said, the autofocus, that's what a lot of people are going to look into if they're starting a YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your preferred podcast platform or on our YouTube channel, and enable notifications so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, we will also love it if you could rate this podcast and leave us a review on your listening app of choice. It only takes a few minutes, and it will help us improve the show and reach new listeners. And be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at 2creators and a microphone, and on TikTok, it's at 2creators and a mic. Thanks again for listening, and we are 2 creators dropping the mic.